Okay, hey, good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to my little camp here in St. Mary's, Georgia. I got projects for days going on. It's good though. I'm in a transition process here, working on the tugboat, working on the sailboat, working on getting the fleet of dinghies pimped out, some of them liquidated. You guys remember the Ducks boat, my most favorite boat in the world that I donated to the robot project. And then Z Mini from the beach cleanups has been hiding in my sail locker, and I got this little sailing skiff I'm going to restore and get that put together. And my little spot here where I like to sit and take my breaks next to the fire, think about my moves very carefully. But the one that's on my mind the most this morning is this pump for PBR 6881. Pretty confident that we figured out what was making it chime, but we found a lot of corrosion inside the pumps. It's not scaly yet. It's all pretty surface rusty inside the pumps. I hate to put it back together without putting some kind of coating on it, but at the moment we don't have a direct line and we can't get these things done fast enough. So I think that I'm best to put everything back together with the correction on the blades and have the boat runnable while we figure out what needs to be done, because inevitably we're going to have to tear apart both the pumps completely, and it just doesn't seem like we're coming into August. It seems like it's bad timing, and on top of that we don't really know what to do. I would like to offer something to consider as we go forward here. I know you guys, I love the hive mind, the collective giant brain that we get going on these ideas and problems, but I wanted to show you something to consider. Early on we had issues with the aluminum and discovered that I'm accustomed to fresh water in the Great Lakes, but the salt water really attacks aluminum if you put a copper ablative paint on, and I didn't know that, but we learned. So we took everything apart and zinc coated. That's the yellow coating here, which is aeronautical grade aluminum primer, and then I went over the top of it. This white coating here is a copper free ablative, and then once I had all the aluminum isolated, I just threw a quick coat of black on it so that it would, look original to the way the boats were. But this is the final nozzle. This is where all the pressure is coming out of, and the coating is holding up really well. I thought that the pressure would strip the paint and primer right off, but apparently these products are tough enough, at least bound to the aluminum, that they're holding on to the point where I don't see any issues. And the other thing I would point out is, where I have this white ablative paint, there's no barnacles stuck to it anywhere where it's just the yellow primer. So really these need to be completely coated. But I did notice that I had some clearance issues in the pivot. I don't want to monkey around with it too much right now, but like you can see right here where it kind of chipped the paint, so it could use a little tuning and fitting, I guess. But it's worked well, and I can't help but wonder if, because a lot of the issue that I'm seeing, aside from the corrosion, the rust, is also that we have, you see the white specks in there, we have a lot of barnacles sticking in here, but you can see how tiny this space is. So I would have to get some specialized tooling, I guess, to get in there and grind all that rust off. I would almost be afraid to acid wash this because of that bearing in there. The acid will attack, the acid will actually attack a smooth bearing surface and etch it and make it not smooth anymore, and I don't want to ruin the bearing in there. But I just cleaned up the mating surfaces that were rusty. This isn't a mating surface, it's the outside of the flange, so it butts up to the shims, but this is the mating surface, so I had to get in here and clean this up. And I'm going to coat that with a product called Lanacoat, which is like a thick, waxy grease. I don't know if it's a beeswax or what it is. I just know that the locals down here in the saltwater swear by it. So I've been kind of putting it on. I think it'll do well for this. And of course, we have the same barnacles sticking in here, and I don't, this has got some surface rust coming out of it too. So I guess that's mild steel. I would have thought that this would have been bronze again, but it's not. And then this is stainless steel. So there's really nothing I can do with the inside of this surface, because that makes contact with the outer side of the blade. Unless I was to grind down the outside of the blade to clearance it for a coating, which I suppose we can consider. Maybe I would like your feedback on that. But one of the things that I noticed, and I want to document it, so I'm going to kind of zoom in here. You see that blade right there? So that blade is actually proud. See that blade tip? That one's flush. Here's the other one. That one's flush. But we come back to this one, and that one's proud. So, what the hell is going on there? That's not supposed to be like that. And I wonder if this is our low-speed performance issue, is actually a blade that's a little tweaked here. So this thing might need to get blown apart and have gone through anyway. That's probably the correct thing to do, unless I just don't know something. Is it possible that jet pumps are supposed to have one blade different than the other two? I don't think so. That don't make sense to Stevie. But on top of that, I've had a very subtle vibration in the boat. It's mostly noticeable at wide open throttle, but I've sent the drive shafts out twice to have them rebalanced. Again, I can't help but wonder if this actually isn't the whole problem there. The shims are actually coming along pretty nicely. These are ready for acetone, soap water acetone. I'm going to give them a scuff with some sandpaper, some fine grit sandpaper, and straighten them out a little bit, because the rust actually bent them. There's a couple in here that were unfortunately really bad. You can see this one here. But thankfully, the inside surface is all that's used. That outside edge where it's rotten is actually proud of the mating surface. I can show you. Yeah, look at how nasty that one is. But again, the good news is, I believe that this is runnable because of how it fits on the flange. Oops, I dropped it. Put that on the bloopers wheel. Anyway, so you see how all that rotten area is proud of the compression surface. I think these will be fine to run while we figure out how to get these made out of stainless steel. So I believe the correction here is to blow this whole thing apart, send out that impeller, get it trued up, because I don't think it's true, and then probably by hand remove this rust, maybe paint on a light layer of an acid, being very careful not to get it, and then coat it with an epoxy and then an ablative compound so that the barnacles stop growing in it. And then these surfaces, unfortunately, I can't put a coating on this surface either, because that's got to slide into the bell here. So grease is going to be the key there. Lots and lots of thick grease, and maybe it'll be okay from there. But I really think that the best course of action for us right now is to just put this back together, because the next mission this boat has in life is going down the Mississippi River. I really see, maybe we do a fundraiser or something like that, but we can really do that from the trailer. The boat is definitely sitting nice on the trailer, and we can take it anywhere. Our next goal is to run this boat across the country. These guys came to me with a dream that, no one had ever achieved this goal of driving a boat across the country, and the best way to do that is going down the Mississippi River. So the Mississippi River's all freshwater. I don't see that doing any more damage. And Mississippi River is also all easy miles. Well, I don't exactly know what to do past that, but that's my gut, is to put this boat back together. And it's probably going to take us a year for us to get our poop in a group on this down the Mississippi run that the guys have been talking about. I say we wash her down with fresh water, oil and grease everything up, and just let it sit until we're ready to go. I don't know. What do you guys think? Drop a line in the comments and let me know what you think of my plan, and I'll see you guys next time.